outcomes are actually changing. So we now have higher percentages of children who are reading on grade level, particularly the third grade. PSSA results are going to come out soon. I generally don't like to talk about PSSA results, but by the same token, when there's progress in the school district of Philadelphia, we need to talk about that. Because people talk about everything else, we have to talk about the progress. And so one of the things that's important is we will see a 5% increase in the number of children who read on grade level or third grade, 4% increase in the number of children who read on grade level or fourth grade. And more importantly, all of the children who are at low basic are actually moving. Thousands of children are moving. So work around literacy is really paying off. We're proud of that. Also focus on technology in schools, replacing all teacher technology and labs across all district schools. And there's something like 40,000 new pieces of technology across the K-12 spectrum in Philadelphia. And we have focused a lot of our efforts now on training individuals, particularly around children that are coming from immigrant families. Comfortable, safe, and respected and loved when they're in our schools. And so that training is now for all staff members, and that's happening. We're going to continue our focus at the high school level, particularly around ninth grade, and ensuring that ninth graders, number one, start successfully in the ninth grade, have the courses they need in order to get out of ninth grade and into 10th, and then making sure that all students, not just in the ninth grade, but across the district, are attending school more often, and not just attending, but being at school on time. And we're trying to focus our efforts there as well with respect to transportation services, but really making an emphasis on ensuring that children are in school every day. Because one of the reasons that's important, because we can spend all the money we want to and the children don't come to school, we can't teach children to read. If children don't come to school, we can't teach them to do math. And so part of making sure we take advantage of the investments we're making is to ensure that children are coming to school on time. We're going to continue to focus our efforts around climates and cultures, particularly with around bullying and those types of things. We're making sure that children feel welcome when they're in schools, and making sure that we take a restorative approach to understanding the needs of young people as opposed to a punitive approach to understand it. And so you will hear things about restorative practices, which is a part of the PFT contract that then requires everyone to be trained. And Tamia runs that data team and all of the working on that, and she has told me not to keep sharing this, but we're also going to see a graduation. You covered your camera. And a lot of these things happen simply because of the commitment that educators are making to students every day in classrooms in support of young people. And so while we have seen years of things where we've had to divest or reduce or eliminate, now we're talking about investments in schools, and investments in staff, and investment in young people that will yield something very different. So I appreciate all of you being here today, and I thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. Just wanted to give you those highlights, as I indicated before. I feel like we're off to a terrific start this year. It's the best start since I've been here, and it is. And I think we just want to make sure that that momentum continues. So thank you all for being here this morning, and we'll now turn it back over to the president.
Thank you. I do appreciate you. I see that two of our vice presidents have showed up, Katrina Clark and Shawna Williams. They're going to grab a seat over here. I'm going to go away away with the agenda for a moment, only because I know again the time is busy, and I would like to introduce one of my longtime friends, one of my encouragers, one of my biggest supporters, Councilwoman Helen. Yes. She's going to say a couple words to you.
Vice President too.
Yeah.
Need a few of those. So I'm Helen Gim. I'm really happy to be here. I just want to point out Charlene, who's here in my office, and Steve, who's here in my office. And I want to thank everybody for coming out to just this inaugural. Oh, should I stand?
And Helen, I just want to let you know that this is being recorded. It's on air, but you're the one that everybody sees.
So I just want to thank everybody for coming out to this, to the first big Home and School Association citywide for the year. This is such an important group to bring all of our parent communities together. I was really glad and agree with Dr. Hite that this year opened as one of the better years that we've seen, especially in the last 5. Those of you who might have remembered 2 years ago, what the headlines were, we weren't even sure whether school could open. But the turnaround that came this year, which was settling the teacher's contract, settling the principal's contract, putting back resources into our schools, keeping those nurses and counselors, but also doubling the social workers. We pushed hard to expand music programs, to make sure that we are paying attention to language supports. If your schools have immigrant families and communities, we're paying more attention to bullying and harassment. All these kinds of things were the work, not only of the district, but especially parents and parent communities who kept reminding us, it's the safety of our kids, it's what happens in the classroom and in our schoolyards that matters the most. And sometimes you don't see that when you're in City Hall or you're here in 440. You can only know that if you're in our schools, if you're volunteering in our classrooms. And that's why Home and School matters so much, because you are there in our schools every day, you're talking to parents, and you're helping give information back to us. One of the big things we did this year was pay really close attention to what's happening with our special needs kids in particular. We know that our special ed students are some of the most vulnerable. If they miss out on classes or services, it's not like they can cram it in and make it up like they're making up a test. They need consistent services throughout the year. That may include speech therapy, occupational therapy, moral support, assistance with their literacy. And Charlene Samuels helped work with communities all across Philadelphia, school communities, to make sure that those students got what they needed. And thanks to Charlene's work, 9 schools and every single special ed student at those 9 schools was entitled to dozens of hours of tutoring and compensatory services. So please thank you, Charlene. So please keep in touch with us if you have problems with enrollment, busing, transportation. We know all of these things matter. We're here to be partners with the Home and School, to be advocates with you, and to be partners with the district and try to figure out solutions. But on a much bigger level, we've got a long way to go in this district. And I am so glad that we've got leadership here at Home and School who's got an activist mindset, who's got an organizing mindset. We know that all these conversations can't stay here at 440. We got to go out there into our schools. So back to school night, parent night, all those things. If you want us to come out, I will be there. Our staff will deploy. We'll give you access to forms that help you communicate with us about concerns that you may have at your school. We can get you information on what your rights are, including curriculum rights, parent rights that you have, and then we can be partners with you to help you get what you need at the school district. But most important of all, we have a long way to go. We've done a lot together. I think that should show us what the power is, what parents come together with our, with organized parent communities, with our schools, and then we figure it out with the district. But, you know, I'm here to figure that out with you. We've been very successful at a number of different schools. We've got a lot of big struggles ahead. We've got 6 new schools identified as turnaround schools this year. So we want to get those families at Steele and Feltonville and the other schools to be really paying close attention to what they want and need, and not just have something told to them. So thank you everybody for being so active in this, and I look forward to keeping in touch.
Oh God, yes. That feels weird. Real weird. Oh God. All right, if I cry with any of this, it's because if anybody knows my journey, it's been a long one. So throughout this time, I'm going to shout out some people, and I really would like to shout out right now Parents United for education. Thank you guys. Always been a big supporter, and I didn't get the chance to introduce one of our newest reps, Amanda Casper. She's sitting here as quietly as possible, but she'll be in the South Philly area, guys, so you'll see her a lot. I'm going to move on again, and I'm going to get us out as quick as possible because I believe in interactions during meetings, and I don't like people just sitting and listening. So this will be one of our last meetings where we're just sitting and listening. I believe that we should also be in a moving concept so we can actually come together and do some things together. Because we don't know exactly what you want, we only know what we want. So that makes more sense. So I'm going to go next with Evette Jones from PFT. Again, one of my friends, my supporters, that's my homegirl. And she's going to come to you and speak about community schools and introduce someone else from the mayor's office.
Thank you so much, Shakeda.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And I am a proud product of the Philadelphia school system. I don't know about all of you, but I am blessed and proud that I went to and graduated from the schools here in Philadelphia. We have some of the finest educators in the city, as well as parents and parent groups in the city. And the Home and School Association is one of those groups. I'd like to thank them for always including the PFT and always making sure that we continue to be partners as we all must try to educate our children to the best of all of our abilities. I am a teacher and an educator. Presently, I'm a staff representative and community engagement coordinator for the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers. And yes, we are very happy to be starting this school year with a brand new collective bargaining agreement when we went without one for almost 5 years, but continue to show up every day in school without a work stoppage to make sure that our children continue to get a good quality education. I'm here today because many of you whose faces I do recognize are home and school presidents have heard me come out and speak about this before. I have been an advocate for and a champion and fighter for the Community Schools Initiative that has been brought to Philadelphia finally, and it started last school year. If a child comes to school hungry, they cannot learn. If a child comes to school sick, they cannot learn. If a child comes to school worried about immigration, unemployment, or violence in their community, they cannot learn. If a child's family does not have the information, resources, and stability to support them, the children cannot learn. Schools must address all of these obstacles so children can reach their full potential. And that's basically what community schools are all about. Community schools can address these issues and help to educate and support our children, their families, and members of the community. A community school is a hub, it's a building, it's a school, it's a place where resources and things that are not only good for children, but are good for parents, families, and community members, people can obtain those resources from the schools in their neighborhood. We can improve student achievement and make our neighborhood schools vibrant, rich with resources, and the center of all of our neighborhoods. I don't know about many of you, but when I went to elementary school and middle school, we had all types of resources and activities and things for us to do as students. Well, over the years, and you even heard Dr. Hite say, those things have been cut and eroded from our children, where the resources that our children need are not there. Community schools to bring back those resources into our schools so that our families and our children can reap the benefits of them. The PFT has a long history of supporting the creation of community schools. Marvin Schumann, who was the former president of the PFT, began working with a gentleman by the name of Ira Harkavy, who was the director of the University of Pennsylvania's Assisted Community School programs in the early 90s. The first program started at Turner and Shaw Middle Schools in 2009 with the partnership of the PFT. The University of Pennsylvania and the school district and the PFT continue to work with expanding the University Assisted Community School model in many schools in West Philadelphia. Happy now that we have a mayor who is committed to 25 community schools during his first tenure as mayor of the city of Philadelphia. Mayor Kenny believes in community schools and is pushing to bring more community schools to our city. The ultimate success of our community schools will rely on the effective collaboration between the city, the school district, and the administrators, teachers, paraprofessionals, nurses, counselors, and other school staff who work with our children in our schools every single day. Last year, we started with a cohort of 9 community schools. They are Kensington Health Sciences Academy, South Philadelphia High School, Dobbins High School, Tilden Middle School, Edward Gideon School, Logan Elementary, Cramp Elementary, FS Edmonds Elementary, and Southwark Elementary. This year, in cohort 2, the city has brought upon 3 more community schools: Gompers Elementary, George Washington High School, and Locke Elementary. And in addition to these 12 schools that we have as community schools, there are also many of our schools who are working in a program that provides them with what's called a VISTA. The VISTA's job is to bring resources into our schools. So not only do we have the 12 identified community schools, but we have other schools in the city that are also working to bring resources into the school. Philadelphia is a rich city, full of history, full of museums, full of organizations, full of things that can enrich our children's educational program. So why not bring them into the schools? And that is the goal of the community schools. I am going to present to all of you, and I will let her introduce herself and her title, who is my partner, and she works out of the Mayor's Office of Education in the Community Schools Office. Her name is Ms. Kelly Shearer, and Kelly's going to talk to you about how the city is working in our schools in partnership with the school district and the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers to ensure that our children get the resources that they need and deserve. Kelly.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelly Shearer. I work for the Mayor's Office of Education and the Community Schools Initiative. I am a long supporter of the Home and School Association, although I'm very new to the game. My son is 4 years old, so this is all, the beginning of the school year is all new to me. We're still doing letters and colors. I have quite a ways to go, I know, but I appreciate everything that you all do, and certainly appreciate Ms. Evette and work with the PFT to help with the Community Schools Initiative. So I'm going to talk just very briefly about what the Community Schools Initiative is. I had a presentation with some slides and some facts and figures, which I'm happy to make available to anyone if you'd like to know a bit more and want to go deeper. But I've just prepared just a couple of remarks to help you understand a bit more about the initiative, what we're currently doing, and where we are looking to go. So as Ms. Evette mentioned, it's a mayoral initiative. So the three big things that the mayor's campaign and his whole administration is focused around. One is Philadelphia Pre-K, PHL Pre-K, so the early education for students who are the young kids that I was talking about, the 3 and 4-year-olds. Rebuild is another big initiative of the mayor, and community schools. So that's what I'm here to talk about. The basic crux of the community schools mission and the initiative and the question that we are answering here is how can the city better support schools and better support the school children and school communities? So all of the initiatives and programs and partnerships and sort of the strengths and scope of a mayoral administration, what happens when you put all of that sort of power and commitment and momentum into supporting school communities? And that's kind of what we're about here. So what that looks like is services, programs, and supports for children, but it's really based off of the needs of the school community. And so the process for that is extensive. So it's not just someone from the central office sort of saying, I think this school needs this, or I think this would be good at this school. It's really working with the school community. So staff members, parents, family members, community members who live around that school, maybe had a student who went there, but they've gone to another school now, or they've aged out. If you are surrounded around that school and really interested in it and want to think about how this can support your neighborhood better as well, what do you all think would be most useful to strengthen that school community? And so the way that we get at answers from that question, surveys, focus groups, one-on-one interviews with community members, because really the strategy means nothing unless it's really representative of the needs that the community members have elevated. So we do a lot of work in the office to sort of cross-reference and strengthen what we hear with some data. So there's a whole bunch of interesting statistics and studies, and people do lots of work about, like, what are the percentages around poverty, for instance, or unemployment? What do we know about health insurance needs in communities? So we take all of that information, all the data and the number stuff, which was never really my thing. I was an English major, so that stuff gets me like, oh my gosh, what are we talking about? But it's all really interesting. So we take that stuff, we take the elevated needs that community members have identified around what they'd like to see happen in their school communities, and that whole process is called a needs assessment. We take that needs assessment and come up with a strategic plan. And really all that means is taking the needs and saying, what are the top 3 things that we think are most important for this school that we're going to focus on in this community school strategy? And community schools is about removing the barriers that students and parents and families experience as they're trying to make the most of their educational experience. So when we think about all the things that students have to go through before they even get to school, particularly in Philadelphia, where we have the highest poverty rate of the top 10 most populous cities in the nation. So our students are experiencing poverty more so here than in other cities and at deeper rates. What does that mean for a student who's showing up to school? Ms. Evette talked about hunger, health needs, just all the sort of challenges and barriers that students are facing before they even get to the school, let alone the things that the school is struggling with itself. How is the community school strategy addressing that? So that strategic plan is saying, we're focusing on these 3 things. We are deploying city resources and departments, and also philanthropic organizations and community partners around these 3 things at these schools. So that was kind enough to mention the schools where we're in now. We're up to 12 community schools, which is really, really exciting. And we're getting much better at geographical distributions. I think the important thing, 2 things I want to highlight in terms of really strong partnerships. Obviously, we very much could not do this without the support of the school district. So that's a key partnership in terms of aligning the community schools plans and the school plans themselves, so some of the instructional components and that the principal and the school community comes up with, making sure that they speak to one another. So it's not like one set of priorities over here, one set of priorities over here. What's the theme that we're talking about this year? Making sure all of that makes sense and it's really coming together in sort of one cohesive movement. That's coming through the partnership with the school district, particularly to create systems and structures to make sure all of that works. So all those really tangled things, when you think about bureaucracy and what are the rules and what are the regulations and all that, that partnership with the district helps to smooth a lot of that stuff out so that we're able to get stuff done. And of course, the partnership with the PFT, which was an early advocate and a consistent and strong supporter for the strategy. Before there was a community schools team, before there was me, before there was me in my role, the PFT has been advocating and pushing for this and to make this widely available, not just for the 25 schools in the Merrill Initiative, but also what are the ways in which the strategy can be effective for all of our schools. As a school is not quite ready to be a full community school, you've got other things going on, and maybe you're thinking some of this would work, but not other pieces. Technical assistance is still available for for the whole school, basically for all the schools that are outside of the cohort 1 and cohort 2. And that's based off of the PFTs really sort of pushing to make this a widespread strategy for supporting all of our schools. So that's an important way that we're working with the PFT. And it's also to help from the school staff who've been there again, long before we have, doing the hard work of educating students and overcoming those challenges and barriers. But how do we help them really be empowered in the community school strategy, understand what it means in your school context within the, okay, so what does this mean when I'm in the third period and I'm teaching English? Like, how does the strategy speak to what I'm doing in that context? Working with the PFT is critical in making those sorts of linkages. And then also for building reps who, their whole role is to elevate the needs and challenges that staff members have. And how do we, again, bring that back to the strategy? All that's coming through the PFT. So that's super, super critical to our work. I'll just follow up with a sort of quick thing about the application process for community schools, because I often get questions about, like, that sounds great, but I'm not in any of those 12 schools, so like, what would this mean for me? Just a quick run through of the application process. Basically what happens is that a message goes out to all the principals of schools, and it's really based off of principal buy-in. So it is super, super important that a principal feel like this strategy would be right for their school and for their school community. And from there, there's webinars and info sessions for principals to learn more about, okay, what does this exactly mean? Because you get a full-time community school coordinator through the strategy working in your school to make this strategy come alive. So like, what does that mean for me? There's webinars and info sessions for the principal to attend. And then they go back to their school community and assemble a committee with staff members, community members, parents, and families so that they can really think about what this means, is this right for us, and how do we apply? And then the school district and the mayor's office of education sort of come together to do site visits. So you can't choose a school if you don't know what it looks like and what it, it's very different when we go there and you see sort of the lights and the momentum and energy there. So we do site visits, there are interviews, but the purpose is really to make sure that there's community buy-in. So it can't be that the principal wants something, but the school community is like, not quite, and the school community, but the principal is like, I'm not really sure. Super critical that everyone be on the same page about that. So if you are interested in exploring this for your school, I would say the best place to start is by talking to your principal and building reps that are at your schools now, because they can get more information about when is the next application, when's the next round where we're considering adding new schools, or even if you decide that applying for the full strategy is not quite right for you, but you want to know more about how your school can benefit from some of the technical assistance, that's still, of course, very much available to you. So talking to the building rep in your school and your principal about how you see this fitting in would be, I think, your first big steps. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. What we're doing for this upcoming school year, as I mentioned, there are 12 schools. So we spent the whole last year doing the needs assessment stuff, so doing a lot of listening instead of talking, which I'm doing a lot of now, but asking people at the schools that were chosen, what do you want to see happen? What's most important to you? What's the biggest challenge? And then this year is about implementation, which looks like building those strategies, expanding capacities, partnerships with folks like United Way or community organizations who are saying, so you said healthy schools was really interesting, was a big thing for you at Dobbins. I do this health and wellness program. Is that right for you? Is that something we can partner on to make this all really pop and sing for the next year? So that people, the most important thing is in schools that people are noticing, seeing, and feeling a difference. Not that this is just more words or another new theme, but that the way that school happens in those communities looks and feels differently. And so that's what we're doing this year for the schools in our cohorts. We had 3 new ones added this year, again, George Washington, Samuel Gompers, and Block Elementary. So they're gonna start with their needs assessment process, which is comprehensive, but we expect great things from them as well. And I believe that's all I have about community schools. I would love to come back and do a fuller presentation for you about community schools, get into more of the outcomes, what we know works with community schools, how this affects curriculum and academic outcomes. I'd love to come back and talk more about that, but hopefully this was a good introduction for you about what we're doing now. And thank you again very much, and thank you to the PFT for your partnership.
Just want to say that last year for the first 9 schools, each school did the needs assessment, as Kelly said, and they provided these booklets that are in the schools and in the, for their families, for parents, for community members, to talk about what these schools need. This one happens to be for Dobbins High School. And one thing that Kelly did mention that I want to mention, some of the highlights of what they did last year in some of our community schools. At Gideon, they did a food bank where they were giving away free food every week to families. Every week to families. This year in Dobbins, they saw the need was for the young athletes to have physicals. So the city, the mayor's office of education, partnered with the city's health department to have late hours, and it was in a close proximity to Dobbins, so that families could take their children over to the health clinic to get free physicals for their children who wanted to play football, basketball, baseball, whatever. So that way it didn't cost the families anything. If they had insurance or if they didn't have insurance, they still were able to get a physical. This year, they're also going to be working with Dobbins for an immunization clinic, where the city's health department will be going and working with our families to get our kids immunized, so that they don't have to miss a day of school. So it's these kind of partnerships they bring, and they bring out the best in our children and our parents and our families, so that we can create vibrant and healthy communities, neighborhoods again, so that our children can learn and succeed. I want to thank you all. Thank you, Shakeda, for inviting us to come. We would be very happy to come back. I do have pamphlets and brochures. Unfortunately, rushing this morning, I left them in the trunk of my car, but I'm going to make sure that Shakeda gets them so that they can have them in the home and school office here, and that she can give them out next month as well. And the mayor's office, you can go to their website and you can check out community schools at any time for further information. Again, my name is Evette Jones. My email address is ejones@pft.org. That's ejones@pft.org. And I would be happy to share any and all information and resources that I can to help you at your schools.
Well, quick question. So are you all aware of community schools, are you all aware that Gideon is just on a list to take a look at becoming a turnaround school? I'm trying to understand the concept that their community school, why they're on the list now where they're going to ask folks to go back to do what you all said you already had done, to kind of, have this, I'm guessing Cambridge is coming in to do this analysis. I'm not understanding how getting down the list that they're already community schools. So I don't know if you all aware, but
I'm aware. They did the same thing. No, they did the same thing at Kensington Health Sciences last year too.
right.
Kensington was
How that to me causes issues, and if you already went to the community and got feedback from them, now you're asking them to go, these people come in and do the same thing. See, right there, that's a problem. And that's concerning to, I don't live in that big area, but I live in the community. That's a problem I think we need to address. And frankly,
we've been trying to address it with the school district. Why are you putting these schools that are identified community schools on this list?
right.
That's a problem. It is, but they keep doing it.
So what's the answer? So what's the answer to their, when you ask them the question, what is the response? Because they should come off the list. We should, you should not have to go through this process that's getting ready to start in a week or so. They should not.
I agree. And that is a conversation that the mayor's office has with the school district, because they had to do it last year with Kensington too. The same thing. So I was taken aback as well when I saw Gideon, that was a school that could possibly be a turnaround school next year, when they're already identified as a community school and are making strides to do good things for the children and the community. So yes, I would love to stand here and give you an answer, but that's a challenge that we have been facing.
With the immunization mandate that they came out with this year, are these community schools able to cover those immunizations?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
The new mandate for the meningitis vaccine
Right.
immunizations that are required for high schools, are the community schools able to assist with that?
We are. We're looking into right now what a partnership would look like with the health centers who have been super supportive and open and honest about their capacity to support, which has been great at the moment, to what would it look like to get the students who we know are on a list, for instance, with you've missed this dose of this vaccine, you're under threat for not being allowed to come back into the schools. Well, can we partner with the health centers to have immunization clinics so that we can get those students right into the clinics that are right into their neighborhoods? And those health clinics are high quality and they are looking to connect better with community members and have them have really patient medical homes. But for the purposes of the immunization clinics, yes, it's very much on our thoughts and our minds and on our agendas. And we're talking right now with the health center about what it would look like to support the high school students, but also the 7th graders, because there was a change in what immunizations they needed as well. And there are students who need that support, and the health centers definitely stepped up to say, we're willing and able to do something, let's talk. So we are doing that.
And they're working with the health centers to possibly see if there's a way that they can go into the school. The idea is to go into the school so that the parents can walk their children into the school and into the clinic, get their immunizations, and the kids can go to class. That's the whole, so now they don't have to get on a bus or something or the car to go to the health center. So the mayor's office has been working very closely with the health department and trying to bring that. And then they're going to partner, of course, with the school nurses that are in the school that can identify, those children and who they are, so that we can swiftly get them immunized and back into class. Yes, ma'am.
Is it your goal to have all of the schools on the community list, or does it have the criteria?
Any school that thinks that they would like to be a community school, as Kelly said, there has to be a collaboration between the administrator, the staff, and the parents to say, yes, we think our school is ripe and ready to become a community school. Then they can go through the application process that usually happens around February-ish, March, but not every school will be a community school. There's certain schools that may say, you know what, we're okay, and that's fine. Each school is different. Each community, each neighborhood is different. So it depends on what the needs are. If you're in a school area, in a community, in a school where, say it's a magnet school, and you have very active parents, you very much have a lot of resources to come in. You have community groups that come in. You have arts and scholars programs that come in. They might not need a community school model or coordinator to come and help bring those resources in. So it depends on the school and the community. Yes, ma'am, and then you, sir.
So, I'm saying with the community schools, you guys started at the Shaw School at first, and started getting.
I'm sorry, you guys started where?
The community schools, you said, you started initially at the Shaw School.
That's back in 2007, it was at Shaw and Turner Middle Schools, and they were university assisted.
Right, so as those schools, through the community schools, what are the things in the school that you bring to them, far as, because I thought that maybe that the immunization and all that, and you begin to play already, as far as inside the schools.
But that's not in the school.
So I think what that's part of
I was just giving you a little bit of history and background, because the University of Pennsylvania, Temple University, Drexel, LaSalle, St. Joe's, Philadelphia is rich in universities here in the city. And those universities, instead of taking from our neighborhoods and communities, need to give back to our neighborhoods and our communities and our schools. So the University of Pennsylvania had started working with them. Unfortunately, Shaw's closed now. They closed Shaw because the initiative that we started back in 2007, it was under a different superintendent, and they didn't think that the community school model was a viable model. So it dropped, it fell apart. But we kept pushing for it.
So in the community school, what are you guys recommending? Like the buses that you guys.
It depends on the school. It depends on what they need. Yes.
So one of the things that happened for high school students who are really interested in job opportunities,
Right.
they didn't get, it's notoriously difficult for students who are interested in careers in the trades, for instance, to get on that track in terms of access and knowing what you need to do and how you need to prepare and what tests they need to take. So we started a partnership with the survey tech department for students who, you can see the folks out with the bright reflective vests, and they're using the technology to look like they're lighting things down the street. It's actually a really lucrative job and a great career and a field for folks. But they come to us, the mayor's office, and say, we are having problems filling these jobs. And what they were actually thinking of doing was going to Bucks County to find students to fill city jobs that they couldn't fill. They didn't have good partnerships with the school district. They didn't know how schools work. They knew they needed students who are interested in being outdoors, who are interested in STEM careers, who like doing things with their hands and being experiential, but didn't really have an inroads to sort of make that happen. So what we did was partner with the survey tech department to say, well, we know students who are interested and eager and will be on time and want to think about what it would be like to have a career in the city for a long amount of time. So we had a whole application process where we went out to the schools, we did info sessions for the students to say, you know, this is what a survey tech is. We brought the cool equipment and made it so that it was relevant for students about what the survey tech really means and what type of career can I get into and what are the steps from that. So we had an application process. Those students got into paid internships this summer where they did, it was a lot. It was like a 40-hour-a-week thing. They got trained. They got help with the tests that they need to take so that they can get into that pipeline for free apprenticeships. And then you start with the survey level 1 job and survey level 2. And they had a great time. I mean, it was something that they was kind of on their radar, but not quite. The schools didn't have the capacity to sit and research about what are all the steps that you need to take and talk to them in the survey department. But that's an example of how that city department partnership really worked out well for the students. And they're in those paid internships for 2 years. So everyone did fabulous. They did really well this first year. They were all invited to return back. They get paid internships, and when they're done their internship, they get to go right into I think it's a level 1 survey tech job, which they might not have had access to had we not known enough about the needs of that community for one, and then had sort of the strength of that model to be able to rely on to say, hey, city departments, you say you have unfilled jobs or that you're looking for students with these sorts of skills. Let's come together, sit through, plan and think out what an effective partnership would look like. So that's an example of how that strategy works and something that looked and felt different for the students that they didn't have before.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut it because we're on a time restricted schedule. And I'm sorry, I love you, Spot. Yes, I'll be right back there for you. I have cards. She'll be in the back as well. I don't need to be rude at all, but I want y'all out of here by 11:30 today because we all have lives, and we're not going to sit here. No. Yeah. Yes. So with that being said,
Thank you, everyone.
thank you guys. I have cards for PFT as well as the mayor's office. Yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her for the link for community schools so we can put it on our Facebook page. And that'll actually wind up on a link on our website as well. That way y'all can actually go in and actually see the benefits of a community school, if it works for your school, if it doesn't work for your school. And we will come together and actually try to do a program together and actually do something together. So people who want to hear about it can actually sit and listen to it, where other people who don't really think they feel the need to, they don't have to come. If that makes sense to everyone. Okay. So, yes, it's community. So I would like to turn the table over to some of our advisors. Hi, Rosemary. Hi, Ms. Dolores. Hi, Eileen. We have a great team inside of this office right now, and this is one of our newest schools. I would like to introduce the U School. And the U School is one of our new home schools who needs to be installed today. I would like to give their right hand to home school council, yeah, your blood and everything else that you need. But I would like for the advisors to be able to do that, and then thereafter, we'll go to our piece with our opportunity for fundraising, and I will just have a slideshow real fast, and we will be out of here. So the youth school can actually come up. Can we give them a hand because they're volunteers? Rosemary, Dolores, I kind of need you up front. Yes. It's fine. Yes. If y'all can keep it down just back here just a little bit. Thank you.
Oh, this is a ceremony for the installation of officers. This is the youth school. I'm sorry, as he's talking. I feel honored and privileged to be here with you to install your officers. To serve actively in a home and school association is a matter of great satisfaction to most of us. When we start the school, we not only serve our children and our own children, but the whole community. Well, the following officers, and I need to know your name, I apologize. Nicole Newman. Shawna Moment. Stacey Hutchings-McCutheons. Stacey. All right, which one is the treasurer? All right, Treasurer Stacey. It is your duty to receive and dispense all association funds in accordance with the Constitution, keeping accurate records and books for future reference. Is there a corresponding secretary lady? Yeah. Okay. Nicole, it is your duty to attend to the correspondence of the association, being sure to reflect the feelings of all the members of the association and keeping them aware at all times of your activities. President. And Shawna. Yeah. Okay. President Shawna. On your shoulders lies the responsibility of the success of the association. It will be your duty to preside at all meetings and discharge the duties listed in your association's constitution and the Philadelphia Home School Council Leadership Handbook. Remember, you may always ask for the assistance of your Philadelphia Home School Council representative officers, which are all around. To all officers elect, you have been entrusted with the leadership of your association. Do you promise to faithfully perform your duties to the best of your ability? I do. Yes, we do. Thank you to everyone for you coming forward and taking on the duties of your office. It is a very worthy task because you're giving your all. That's all we ask of you to do. Congratulations. I would like to present to you the officers for the 2017.
I'm always going to get you. Did y'all really think that was going to let y'all go over without that? No. You're on the agenda. All right, guys, I see some special people in the back. Miss Arlene, hi dear. That is the Vice President of PFT. Thank you so much for coming out today. I appreciate it. Just a couple announcements before I introduce our fundraising opportunity. One,
We are going skating October 19th. This is a free family night and is sponsored by the Philadelphia Homeschool Council. We are asking you all, I know it's a school night, y'all don't want to come out. I seen your face said, wait a minute, it's a school night. Yes, it's a school night. It's from 6 to 9. It's a Thursday night, it's October 19th. Every admission is free, but children 4 to 17 needs to purchase skates or bring their own. If they bring their own skates, guess what? It's free. Come skate with us, except Miss Dolores. She didn't walk out there, she went here. She's not allowed to go skating with us. I will be out there with my family, wholeheartedly skating like I lost my mind, like I'm not, that old, and I might do a backward skate. If I fall, don't take no pictures, please don't post it. That's all I ask. That's all I really ask. With that being said, I'm going to introduce listen, why I got so many supporters up in here? I don't know. Miss Charlene, you've been here forever. When I first started off at Finletter Elementary as the president there, she was the one that made sure that I got everything I needed at Rolling Thunder. And she supported me every single step. And when I called her the other week to let her know that I was now the president, she was like, oh my God, I'm just so proud of you. I didn't think that nobody else thought of me in that kind of way outside of the people that I served inside of Finletter. So it felt good. So I have but the most respect for this woman, and I would like to introduce Ms. Charlene Washington from Rolling Thunder. I'm sorry, Charlene, because she's gonna get me. Thank you.
Good morning, still morning, yes, good morning, Home and School Association Council, excuse me, guest, interested guest, learned guest, thank you for coming out. Briefly, Erica Lambert, sales executive, she's new to our team, came to help the old veteran out. 25 years with Rolling Thunder, used to be WOW, Jams, and now Rolling Thunder. Largest indoor roller skating and entertainment center in the city. We have 2 indoor amusement rides, pizza, we have over 100 video games. So we're doing something, we partnered obviously with the Philadelphia School District for the past 10 years. One of our programs was the Student of the Month Award. We do have packets that we're going to pass out. This award obviously goes to the student who has reached their goals, honor roll, perfect attendance, good behavior. For every child that receives one, they get to invite 9 other friends, family members on an open family skate. It entitles them to free admission. Obviously, they don't have to pay anything to come in. You just have to do the skate rental, which is $4. And of course, as we all know, if you have your own skates, you're welcome to bring them. This is awarded to, again, all the students in 203 schools if they've met their goals. One other thing, of course, we're doing is the STEM program. This is new. We're doing this across the board for 3rd through 12th graders. The motto here is education is fun. And we're trying to apply the concept that STEM is in everything that we do, so daily and fun. We also are doing our morning parties, morning or afternoon. Again, this is awarded to every school in the city. It's for across the board, honor roll, perfect attendance, and good behavior. And this they use Monday through Friday, this teacher's call. You can book your classrooms, or you can bring the entire school. Rolling Thunder can accommodate 1,100. So the more the merrier, bring everyone. And most of all, we're doing our fundraising. The schools love this. It's a private activity. It's for the evening. And the newest, and I think the best is, the ticket is $10, and we're doing a 50-50 split. So we're not trying to be out there trying to make all the numbers splitting. You make your $5 off of every ticket, and we receive $5. So we're hoping that the schools will sign up for this. I think it's the best for fundraising. It's not only for the schools, so if you have any organizations, your Boys and Girls Clubs, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, church organizations, any youth organizations that are out there, you can do a fundraiser with us.
The only thing that I wanted to add is that we do have a special incentive today. So if you think that the fundraiser is something that would work for your homeschool group, or a sports team you might coach, or anything to help these kids raise money, I know it's great. We've used it for like the high school cheerleading right now. They're trying to raise money to buy their equipment for their competition seasons and the basketball season, anything like that. If you feel like this is something that will work for you and you wanted to reserve a date today, we did bring some, we'll give for you and your family a family 4-pack, which is 4 admission, 4 skate rental, a large pizza, and a pitcher of soda for you to come and enjoy with your family. So we have those incentives today too, while they last, if anybody has dates in mind.
Any questions?
You have a question with dates that are available for that. How far into next year we go? We go like mid-year, like in the school year?
Absolutely. I think we're already booking through like May. Right now we have some. It's nice if you book a little further out. Sometimes people hear like fundraiser and they're like, yes, let's get this done in 2 weeks, but 2 weeks isn't always enough time to sell tickets. So you just want to make sure that if you organize something like this, you're maximizing what you can give back to the children. So just make sure that you do give yourself enough time, but certainly the further out the better.
Any other questions?
Yes. How much is admission? Like you said, some.
Regular admission is $8. Skate rental is $4. I must say we are the cheapest in the city because we're almost the only rink left.
Yes, you really did.
Yeah. Well, there's Palace, but you know. We're at 7017 Roosevelt Boulevard.
7017 Roosevelt Boulevard.
It's between Hite and Coffin. We're actually like in the Kmart parking lot. We share a parking lot with Kmart.
It's Rolling Thunder now. It was Jams and Wow, and it was US Skating Rink before this. We're now here on Skating Rink. I'm telling my age.
And I've been there since
USA Skating Rink. She really has. So thank you so much, Rolling Thunder. I appreciate y'all coming out. Everyone will see a link as well for Rolling Thunder on our Facebook page. Before we end out today,
Thank you.
2 things. I want to do a slideshow really fast about our new relaunch of our website. Stacey is going to go through it really fast. Please, I love you. Click, like, thank you. Love you, Stacey. So we're going to go through what the old page looked like. And it's not even 2 minutes. It's not even 2 minutes. This is what the old page looked like. This is what the new page looks like. That is the bottom half of the new page. Can we slow it down just a little bit? Go ahead. This is what the old page used to look like. And this is what the new page looks like. It is still www.philahsc.org. You can also go through it through www.philadelphiahsc.org. You have 2 pathways to us. Yeah, right? Thank you. There used to be our subpage and our objectives of Up Now. And that used to be how the officers and staff look, and this is how the officers and staff look now. Yeah, you know, your picture is up there, trust and believe. Our parent and community resource page used to look like that. This is what it looks like, well, it used to look like that, but this is what it looks like now. You actually have links to our community resource pages. Yes. So you have FAFSA, what is it, FAFSA, the school district of Philadelphia, the volunteer program. Please be mindful of that new volunteer program that just popped out. There are 6 steps in order for you to do volunteer services. Please click on our link and it'll go straight to that volunteer link. You also have FastWeb, Oh My God scholarships, as well as PEA. And then there are other organizations that will pop up. The more we get together as a community, the more community resources we will throw out there. Our FAQ page used to look like this, and now it looks like that. Our documents was, like that, and now it looks like this. So if anyone doesn't know about the scholarship and award program that we have, it's for our high school students, and it's for our high schools that actually are valid home and school, have valid home and schools inside of there. They will get information on how to nominate a child from their school. If you're not a valid high school or you're not a high school, that program would not be there, but awards are going out to other home and schools and other organizations. So be mindful, we're changing a lot of things this year, and a lot of things will be going forward. But those are some of our students that actually got the awards. So we found some pictures and some pictures we don't find, so we're looking right now and researching their pictures. And the work in progress right now is the news and events page and the roles of the PHSC. So that will change. If you go on there, our history is there, how long we actually been in the organization. Remember, you are a part of something that has been here longer than this been here. So we've been here since the dirt. When it first came, there were 4 fathers that were here first, and I like to call them 4 mothers, because it was Julia Masterman. Yes, it wasn't you. Who first was our first president of the Philadelphia Home and School Council. So we would like to make sure that we keep that legacy going and keep moving forward. More parents join in, the more parents that are in these schools. I don't care what organization you join. Parents, be mindful of your schools. These are yours. It's your neighborhood. When your school dies in your neighborhood dies. Your property value goes down. Issues happen in your neighborhood that should not. Gentrification programs pop up when your schools close down. Please be mindful of that, and please go back into your schools and work those things out. Yes. Okay. Yes, love.
What is the role of the home school council, and how does that play into our individual home school association?
Okay, so I love that. No, I love that question. What I like to do is I like to put my advisors on blast. I do. I love to put my advisors on blast. And I am, look, she said that's why I got the book. And since Rosemary is back there, and I value everything she says, Rosemary, what is the role of PHSC?
Everybody on blast.
Yes, I do.
Yes, but she's gonna. Yes. The role of PHSC is to work hand in hand with the district, the school, and the community. We are here for number one thing only in your life are the children. No attitudes, no personalities. We do not look at, oh, this is the district. We have to go against, no. We bring informative information to each and every one of you so that you can make that decision for you, your child. You are the only one who knows your child. So whether it be a charter, a public, a private, or a Catholic school, that is your choice. We're going to bring you this side and that side. You choose what you think is best for your child. We are here to help not going to say entertain you, but the way you do. But no, we're here to help bring you this information. You need to know all sides of the story before you make a decision. You don't go out and buy a home or a car unless you do your research. We are here to help teach you how to do research. We are also here to help do the research for you and guide you. And that is the role of PHSC. We are here to make sure that you do things correctly, the right way. There's a way to speak with people. There's a way to speak with the district. There's a way to speak with city council. There's a way to speak with your principal, your teachers, parents, other parents. Everybody, it's your child, or you're gonna fly off the handle. Stop, take a step back. First, you compose yourself. You take the higher ground, you be the stronger person. You know your facts. You can go to anybody in this district that has PhDs, masters, whatever. You let them know, this is the protocol. These are the steps. You know you're stuck, you will be respected, trust me. Yes. We will teach every single one of you how to do that. We're going to help teach the organization that's representing your school how to do that. It doesn't matter who we are, what bracket economically we come from, nothing. It's all about the children, that's the goal. I don't care about the side, tunnel vision when it comes to the children. But your child and my child are collectively one. So we include all children.
Correct. Correct. Yes. So the other role is what we do with our home schools as well. We give them that same knowledge and power so we can empower their other schools as well. So we try to make sure that what we have with us, we trickle down to them. We also insure them, so there are events that happen. There are fundraising things inside of our schools that other organizations cannot do. We see inside the organization, outside the school district. So no one else should be honestly doing fundraising, but we don't say that. We don't say that. But we do the fundraising portion of that as well. So we empower you. We actually help you get fundraising funds for your school and your students inside of those schools. So please come and join. I am going to go into the raffle portion of this program because we have a couple of minutes and I have 2 babies here. 11:23, yes. Can I have 2 of my babies here? Can they come up front? Come on, little mamas. Bring your little chocolate stuff up here. Come on, young man. Come on. I need you to help me do something. Oh, come on. Come on, baby. I need you to pick out some raffle tickets. Yay! Yes. So you gonna pick out some raffle tickets. Come here, gentlemen. You gonna come? Okay, so here's the thing. If they're not here, they're not gonna get it. So I'm gonna go with the 2 smaller prizes first. And could you do me a favor, little mamas? Can you pick out something over here? Are you ready, Shawna? Y'all got your tickets out? You gonna pick out one for me, okay? Yes? Okay. All right. And then after you do it, right? You want to do a curtsy, okay? Okay? Or you can fling your hair, it doesn't matter. No, those are not those. Okay. All right, mama. Pick out one. Ready? Ready? Pick out one. Pick out one. Wait a minute, it's 2. There we go. All right. Wait. Listen, she's like, I got a prize. Wait. Okay. I have 626058. Okay. 058. Going once, going twice. Goodbye. Nobody got it? You want to try it? Okay. You got one. Pick out one. You don't think I'll give you one? Grab one. Come on. This is the prize. 062. No? Oh. I know that's right. Go ahead.
Go all the way down in the bag and get it. Go ahead.
Go grab one. Grab one.
And she grabbing all of them.
Yes. Wait a minute. 081.
No.
What? I'm not feeling this.
Go on. Big one. Is it? Okay.
Maybe it's just me. You do it, Shawna.
Oh God, you know I can't stay.
055. Hey! You get a gift card. Enjoy $5 on us. Come back, baby. He like, come on. He like, no, my job is over. He like, listen, I'm done.
You guys
try
your mama number.
Come on. Come on, try to pick your grandmama's number. Come on,
ready? And he coming. You ready? You got one boy. You ready? Come on, give me one. Give me one good one. One good one. Got it? That's it? Let me see. No, that's 2. Give me one of these. Yeah, tell me which one. We got one of these. There you go. Who's it?
All right. 109. Hey! Hey! You get a gift card! Yay! That wasn't good. All right. Last gift card, and it's a $10 one. It's a $10 gift card. It's the grand prize. Come on. Come on. Let's go. You want to try it? Come on. Let's go.
Ready?
Ready?
Y'all gonna give her a drum roll. Y'all gotta give her a drum roll. Look, give her a drum roll. Give her a drum roll. All right, come on, baby. We got a good one. Got a good one. Yeah, give me one. Now.
One.
No, this one. Oh, you want this one. All right, now look. And y'all see, she gave me 2. Now pick one out of there.
Yay. Can I see? 080. No?
I gotta try it again. One more time. Come on.
Grab one.
This one. Drop down. One. There you go. Okay.
101. Hey! Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much for attending today's general membership meeting. I appreciate you. October 6th is our next one, and it's on a Friday night, which we've never done that before, so that's different. So it's Friday night at 6 o'clock. This is centered around teenage and youth situations that's happening out here, so I think y'all will be very, you might want to come out here and have some teenagers that's trying to get you on there. Yes, I don't think that. Thank you so much for joining and coming. Thank you.